Let's go. Oh, here we go. JR9 is in the house. JR9. James Shrimp Fajitas. Marie's up in here. Sam Byers. I got no playback. Where's my playback? Can we get this? Okay, thank you for the ads, YouTube. Now you want to give me ads. Thank you. Now they give me ads. There we go. Check 1 2, check 1 2. BC in the amp unit coming at you. I like it. I like it. I sound pretty good. If I blow out a mic, such is. You're on the amplified channel. It's what we do. Let me put in my playback if you don't mind. So I'm with you guys for at least another, half an hour, bare minimum. Maybe we'll stretch it to 45 minutes. We'll see. Appreciate that. Angry ass, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. JC King's up in here. Alicia's up in here. And I gotta say, man, before we even get rocking, fix that camera angle, man. What are we doing with the camera angle? Come on. Come on, we can do better than that. Fix the camera angle. There we go. There we go. A little better. Frame that up. I like it. Much better. Go Jackets. What's up? Hold on. Let me hold your playback off because I'm hearing your playback in my playback. That's not good. Before we start this off, guys, we're going to talk some ratings. We're going to talk the preview for SmackDown tonight. We're going to talk Chad Gable's extension or re-signing of WWE. We're going to talk Rhea Ripley, some unfortunate news with Ripley. We got the update on CM Punk. Before we get into all of that, MJF, man, you talk about getting candid, going blunt. MJF, we'll talk all of that. But I saw something as I was setting up about 5 minutes ago. And it was indeed what I thought. Jane Donnelly, before we even start this live stream off, Jane Donnelly with a 10-spot super chat, couple of coffees, or in this case, at least half a box of Clearly Canadians. This is the Mountain Blackberry we're doing for this stream. Smash those up on the way up too, man. I forgot that. We're almost at 50 already. I appreciate that. But Jane Donnelly, and that little super emoji, whatever that is, spinning around in the chair, that's basically BC after every coffee or every Clearly Canadian. Jane, I don't know if you were in the last stream or not. I don't believe so, but good to see you up in here, Jane. I appreciate the coffee / Clearly Canadians, man. Jane Donnelly. And also, that was not the only one, man. Stegmeister dropped a mini banger bomb before we went live. A 20 spot from the Stegmeister himself, who will be at the Clash next Saturday, by the way. My inside reporter for the Clash in Scotland, Glasgow. Stegmeister says, BC, I've got some matches announced. So Stegmeister's already doing some insider work for BC over there in Scotland, man. Stegmeister says, BC, I've got some matches announced for next Friday's SmackDown. In a double main event, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus and Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. Got this info via email from WWE's live events. Now, Steg, that might only be for you. You might be able to watch those. I don't know if they're going to give us Drew and Sheamus again. And I don't know, Balor, I believe, is Monday Night Raw, right, with Judgment Day. I don't know how you tie in Balor and Sami Zayn. I think that's a treat for you guys, Stegmeister. I think you're going to enjoy that, and everybody who's there live in attendance. I don't believe it's going to be on SmackDown for us. I hope I'm wrong, though. Listen, if you want to send Drew McIntyre over to SmackDown to do it again with Sheamus, I thought I've seen it enough. But if they want to rock out for a good 15 minutes, hey, if Sheamus just did that with Ludwig Kaiser, I think he's getting back on his game. So I'll watch that. And if you want to do Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn for the IC Championship, I don't even see how that would work, though. Because Balor can't take that shit. Wait, Sammy. Yeah, well, Sammy's Raw as well. So you're just taking two Raw guys and sending them over to SmackDown. I think that's for you guys, Stegmeister. So grab your whatever they're serving. I don't think you have Clearly Canadian in Scotland, but Grab whatever bevy of your choice. Kick your feet up, even if you're kicking the dude in front of you. The dude in the next aisle. Kick your feet up and enjoy those matches, brah. Stegmeister. Hold on. First of all, Jane Donnelly. Ring the bell for Jane Donnelly. He's the winner of the first matchup. The winner of this match, Jane Donnelly. And the winner of the second matchup with a massive mini banger bomb, a Stegmeister power bomb special. Stegmeister! Salute. You guys are on a roll, man. Hold on. I got some member chats coming up. There was another super coming in from Joker716. The third match goes over to Joker716 with a 2-spot coffee. Joker17! Finkel, you messed that up, man. It's 716. Can I try it again? Yes, ring the bell. The winner of this match, Joker716. There you go. Good deal. Good deal, Fink. Fink's got it. Don't worry. Never underestimate what the Fink and his capabilities, how far they can go. I got to send a shout out over to Jane Donnelly as well for a 17th membership, man. Not only a super chat to start us off, but a membership of 17 months. I believe we've only had these memberships for 17 months. So Jane Donnelly down from day one, no-ish. Jane Donnelly says, yeah, missed a few streams, BC. Life can be insanely hectic right now. Tell me about it, dude. That's why these streams, they're more popped up more than usual. Sometimes I only have about 45 minutes. It could be even be a half an hour on this stream. But listen, I'm trying to get all the content I possibly can out to you guys, man. Even though the summer is very chaotic, very busy, and that's a good thing. But this channel is still my hobby. This channel is still something I'm uber passionate about. I love, and thanks to you guys, we created something special. So I'm going to make sure that I keep doing these, even if they are pop-up streams with only 25 minutes of notice. So no apologies needed. That's for sure, Jay Donnelly. I totally understand. And I realized too, I'm like, wait, Jay Donnelly, man, one of my one of the members that's at the head of the table. Where's Jane Donnelly at? Where's Jane Donnelly? But then I said, you know what? Everybody else is filling in their roles. Jane's on hiatus. And now back with an absolute amplification is Jane Donnelly. Thank you, Bob. Jane Donnelly, can you tell I'm amped up, bro? I just had a full Dunkin' coffee, and I'm about to crock this open. So, crock it open. I'm going to crock it open, clack it open. I'm going to fucking crack it open. Whoa! What was in the coffee? BC's got to chill, man. You guys are coming hot and heavy, man. I haven't even gotten to the notes. I said it's about to take a half an hour with super chats and memberships. That's before I even start anything, bro. Deshaun Sanders, 13-month membership. What up, Deshaun? Salute to the one of the greatest who ever did it, BC motherfucking amplified. Deshaun. 13 months strong. Man, I appreciate you, Deshaun. Can I read that one again? Of course I can. It's my channel. 13-month membership from Deshaun says, salute to one of the greatest who ever did it. BC motherfucking amplified. All right. I get everybody. You guys are rocking it, man. I appreciate it. Good to see everybody up in here. Big Nang's up in here, man. As I said, James Shrimp Fajitas. Connie is up in here as well. Joker716, appreciate you, dude. JR9 Gaming, as I said. Ryzen 9 Phoenix. All right, let's get into some stories, man. Let me crack this, actually. Stegmeister and Jane Donnelly chucked half of them together, a whole box of Clearly Canadian, so let me crack one. Yo! Hey, ring that bell, man. We got a winner of the fourth match up in here. It's Savage 1024. Fink, get your ass up. Get to work. The winner of this match, as a result of a straight-up ass-whooping pinfall, Savage 1024, the Punisher. Savage. So, dude, nothing I can do. I had a lot of coffee today. This is the BC you're getting today, man. I'm amped up. I'm putting people through walls. We rocking. We're rocking today, bruh. We're amplified. Boom. Hot damn. Savage says, how have you been, BC? I've been amplified. I'm very excited for CM Punk's return. I'm hoping he doesn't break any bones in the future. LOL. Yeah, LOL. Aside from his own, I think that's the only thing Punk has to worry about, breaking his own. At this point, it'll be fine if it's anybody else's, probably Drew McIntyre's in his mindset. I want to talk some CM Punk. Hopefully I have the time to do such. When I talk Braun Breaker is when I'm going to insert some CM Punk. Savage! Salute, dude. Good seeing you up in here. Let me crack this for all of you guys, man. Listen to that, huh? All right, clearly Canadian, Mountain Blackberry. This first big swig is for every single son bitch in here live on 25 minutes of notice. And the thousands that'll catch it afterwards over the next 24 hours. Relax, it'll be up there for everybody. Salute. I told you that was going to be a massive swig, man. That'll send you a fucking jolt. All right, let's go over this, man. I was going to send out a 10-minute upload yesterday. I chose not to. There was no real stories, and I didn't have more than 20 minutes, including editing. So there was nothing I could do. If it wasn't something that was worth talking about, that I could do within about 20 minutes to a half an hour, I just wasn't going to do it. The only news yesterday was what Vince was banned. Vince was banned from headquarters of Stanford's WWE Center. Well, what? That's not news. Do you know what Vince is facing? Do you think Vince is just going to waltz into headquarters and be like, hey, guys, any news lately? How's everybody? Janice, how are you? How's the kids? Benson, how are you? You got vacation coming up? Did I give you vacation? No? Well, how about my doofus son-in-law? Is he giving you... Well, what is he supposed to say? How is everybody? It's me all along. It's Vince. I was at the door. Nobody let me in. Not even my doofus son-in-law. Where's everybody? I want to come in. I want to paint walls. I want to move some plants around. This is all mine. It's mine. It's mine. I'm Vincent Kennedy. You're all here because I allow it. What's he supposed to do? He's not going to waltz into Stanford, Connecticut's WWE headquarters, man. So some fucking former employees he's not allowed here. Wow. Groundbreaking news. Vince isn't allowed at Stanford right now. Bullshit, first of all. Do you think for 1 second if this dude doesn't want to use his gym, they got a nice big gym in the basement center, do you think he doesn't know anybody that works there that can slip him into the gym for an hour? Do you think it's not I don't know, his daughter can go there at any point in time? His son-in-law literally runs the place, or is one of them. I'm pretty sure Vince can use the gym or sneak into headquarters whenever he wants. Relax. How that was a story, I have no idea. Vince is banned from Stanford. And then the other story was, Chad Gable offered a new WWE contract due to interest from AEW. That was the report. Because Chad Gable has interest from AEW, WWE decided to offer him a contract. Are you serious? Do you think that's honestly why Paul Levesque McMahon stopped and went, hey, maybe we should re-sign him? Did anybody hear about AEW liking his work? Has anybody heard about AEW wanting Chad? Because if not, I ain't going to re-sign the son of a bitch. Right? Fucking creative writer 612 raises his hand, right? Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer. Dipshit, what do you got to say? I heard AEW's interested in him, sir. Then that's it. We shall sign Chad Gable. Dipshit Dugenheimer 512 said, there's interest from AEW. We gotta sign Chad. It's not like Chad Gable's in a big storyline right now with the Alpha Academy imploding and needing Chad Gable to finish that fucking story and the fact that Chad Gable is amazing. No, we needed to know that AEW was into him for us to say, hey, we should sign him then. If AEW is gonna sign, AEW wants him. Well, now I, Paul Levesque McMahon, now I want him even more. What? How is that a story? AEW wanted Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler said he was there, had talks with Tony, just wants to kind of bet himself on the independents right now. Dolph could have easily been in AEW right now. AEW had interest in Dolph. WWE didn't go, whoa, they have interest in Dolph? No, they said, oh, okay, bye Dolph. Dolph. What kind of cockamamie story is that? AEW has interest in Chad Gable. Anybody with a fucking brain, anybody who's in the wrestling business would have interest in Chad Gable. If you think that's why WWE extended an offer to Chad Gable, I don't know what to tell you, brah. One of the dumbest things I could hear. It's right up there with Vince's banned from Stanford headquarters. Obviously, it's an unspoken thing. You probably shouldn't be in these walls right now. They're all going to court on a case. Two separate entities, but going against the same individual. The same kind of court case. You don't want Vince... Obviously. How is that a story? Some of the things that get out there. Did you see one? There was another story yesterday. Dave Meltzer saying that WWE sent out false numbers, collision numbers. They sent out a number that was like 122,000 something. It ended up being 378K. And then another report said that in the same paragraph, or maybe the next paragraph, Meltzy Boy apparently said, well, I think they were giving the replay numbers. Oh, so they got some type of numbers. First of all, it's not WWE's job to give any numbers. So if they are giving those numbers, AEW has to stay on top of that shit. Woo! I haven't even gotten into today's yet. I'm just going over stories I could have went over yesterday, but didn't have the time, and they weren't really stories to me. And you know what? I still ain't gonna hit today's top stories yet because I gotta give a shout out to Reese Monet, 7-month membership, ABC, long time. The tube unsubscribed me for some reason, so I gotta wait a few more weeks to live chat. Red and gold team, go! Reese, they've been doing that again. A lot of you guys are telling me that they're unsubscribing you guys without notice. It's not BC's doing. It's the glitches, right? Tube glitches. They have a lot of them going on. There's glitches with the comments, obviously. There's glitches with subscription. That's why I've been trying the last couple, even though I hate doing it. I've been trying to remind you guys, always make sure you're subscribed and notified, man. Make sure you're doing all the things for the channel. It's not just to show support. It's to make sure you're still involved in everything, like these live streams on 25 minutes notice. Because like Reese Monet, she was one, unfortunately, that got booted recently. And that's just what they're doing. Trust me, BC wouldn't boot one of my favorites on this channel, Reese Monet. I assure you, that is a gold card channel member. But that's, I call them glitches, but it's been like this ever since I've had this channel. For over 5 years, it's been like this for the tube. Just one of those, it's one of those time frames where they're doing it a lot more lately. So Reese, anyway, on behalf of the tube, because I don't know if they'll do it for you, I will apologize for them. That absolutely sucks. Because we do have the 4-week policy, obviously. But Reese, you're a gold card member anyway, so every time that gold list pops up, which is renewed every single hour, you're right on that. So Reese, I hope to do Reese, by the way. So you should be able to do this, I believe. It's a members-only live stream on Monday. I want to do a Battleground review because Jordan Grace is taking on Roxy. And we'll go over other top stories in the wrestling world as well from the weekend. But I also want to talk some Battleground real quickly, maybe a 45-minute to an hour stream just for my channel members. So hopefully you'll be able to shoot the shit there, Reese. All channel members should be able to. So that's what I hope to do, man. Channel members only live stream. Haven't been able to do one of those for a couple of weeks. All right, so, and hold on, did I get everybody? I think there was another super chat, actually. This was Savage. Savage, you won match 4 and match 5. Match number 5 goes over to Savage, 1024, the Punisher. The winner of match 5 as a result of another ass-whooping pinfall. Savage, 1024, the Finisher! Savage! BC, you and I can't give Dave Mark Meltzer a 5-star frog splash or a most common Canadian destroyer, but we can entertain you until we retire. Savage! I like that. Dave the Mark Meltzer. That could be his wrestling name, dude. Imagine that, and then we're all giving Dave Mark Meltzer, we're all giving him a star rating afterwards. Boo, that match was negative 26 stars, Dave. I don't know. I'm in left field with a hockey stick right now. Listen, Savage 1024, man, appreciate you. I'm glad you're back up in here like Jane Donnelly. Several names I haven't seen in a minute. You guys are rocking out on this Friday. We didn't start the week. We're ending it. Relax. Friday afternoon. All right, so what do you say we get into some of this, man? Again, Reese, much love and respect. Good to see you up in here, and I appreciate you. Let's go over to... let's start off Rhea Ripley real quick. Some unfortunate news. Rhea Ripley, now it looks like her timetable is pushed back a little bit. Does not look like Rhea Ripley is going to be able to come back before SummerSlam. Obviously, that sucks. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan was going to be something massive. If you postpone that past SummerSlam, you're not doing this at the Bash in Berlin, right? I don't see that happening. I don't know when the next big moment would be. Survivor Series, but you got to believe they're going to do something on a much different scale than just Liv and Rhea. So if it's not the Rumble, which I doubt it would be, you can't hold this off till Mania. What would be if Rhea Ripley misses SummerSlam, which is the latest word that we're getting, guys, what would be the next big event that her and Liv could wrestle at? I guess Survivor Series, but can you hold off that long? And is that a match that fits Survivor Series? That would be the question. But anyway, that's the report. We can speculate on when she will take on Liv and continue this storyline. That's speculation. What we know for sure, it is going to be past SummerSlam because she's not going to be back in time, unfortunately. Yeah, Anthony Boley. Anthony Boley says Survivor Series. You're going to have to somehow make it. I don't know if they would do... I mean, you probably would have a War Games for the dudes. But don't they like to do War Games for the ladies, too? Did we just have that last year, a War Games ladies match? I thought we did. Man, I don't know. If they do it properly, that could propel Survivor Series, and then it would fit, obviously, because that would be a marquee matchup. But that's going to be drastically overshadowed by the 2 War Games matches, and probably some of the other, unfortunately for the ladies, but some of the dude titles that are on the line. That match that has such a good storyline already could be greatly overshadowed if they try to propel this to Survivor Series. Yeah, JR9 says, then you extend it to the Rumble, which is only 2 months more at that point. Can it go that far, JR9? That's the thing, because we're all digging the storyline so far, and that's greatly without Rhea Ripley's presence. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk is pretty damn good, even without CM Punk's presence. I mean, Drew McIntyre was just at headquarters the other day. Drew was fucking with Punk. He put this weird face of Punk up on the giant LED that's in Stamford. So he continues to kind of mess with Punk. So some of these stories don't need these individuals every week, but can you go July? Well, it's early June. So June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You'd have to go 8 more months to get to the Rumble and hope that the fans' interest is still into Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. If that's the case, you kind of got to forget about Rhea for a little bit and just go full throttle Liv Morgan Dominic. Like, that's the tandem. And then out of nowhere, here comes fucking Rhea Ripley months later. Dwayne Piazza, 16-month membership, says, what happened to Liv Morgan? First of all, Dwayne, good to see you up in here. Nothing happened to Liv. Liv is getting some of her best booking right now. She's got the championship. She's involved in a storyline people care about with Dominic. And in a roundabout way, Rhea Ripley when she returns, of course. But Rhea Ripley, Dominic, Judgment Day, Liv Morgan's in a big storyline. So I didn't hear anything happen to Liv Morgan. I think you mean Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley did get injured, and Rhea Ripley is not going to be able to get back in time for SummerSlam. So that's why we're kind of just talking about when would be the right place to do this match and continue this feud with the care and the time that it needs. Interesting. James Shrimfajita says the story with Liv going until Rumble, it could happen. You'd have to take so many twists and turns with it. The good news is you can do it. Like sometimes with these stories that are good, you get a wild horse out of nowhere that propels it even better, right? Like for instance, Finn Balor recently. Who would have thought Balor would fit in so perfectly with this storyline? But Balor is trying to protect Dominic like he's his father, right? Like Liv Morgan is the dude that's picking up his daughter for prom, you know? And it's just reversed. She's the chick and she's picking up Dominic, but it's still the overbearing father. Get away from my son! Get off my lawn! Finn Balor is pissed. Finn Balor went on his social doohickey machine and he had a picture of him in between Liv and Dominic. And his caption was simple. It had a rooster, a fucking cock, and then it just had a block symbol. So do the math, right? Yeah. Block. So Balor's having fun with this. Balor played his part beautifully on Monday. I truly loved it. So my point is, if you're going to extend this to Rumble or bare minimum Survivor Series, because you can't do it before that, you're not doing it at a Bash in Berlin or anything like that. You're not doing it on a Raw or a SmackDown or in Saudi Arabia in November. So what you're going to do is you're going to wait till either Survivor Series or Rumble. You're not waiting all the way to WrestleMania, you got to believe. If that is to happen, you're going to have to really put all of your effort into this and hope that you have those wild cards along the way, like the Finn Balor's that are going to make it, just get it over those lame humps. You know, because there's going to be those times, those weeks where it's like, what are we doing? We're dragging this on. We'll see, man. We will see. Yeah, the custody of Dominic. Instead, it'll be Liv and Rhea instead of Ray and versus Eddie. R.I.P. Eddie. Yeah, Joker. The custody, that's what everybody's talking about. Even Jordan Grace was like, if this match doesn't end with custody of Dominic, what are we even doing here, bruh? And by the way, I got to give a shout out to Jordan Grace. Man, it is so great to see her in NXT and getting the love and the shine that she is getting. She should have gotten that all along the way. Unfortunately, if you're not in WWE or even in AEW, you don't get a lot of praise. You don't get talked about a lot. On this channel, my veteran subscribers, my JR9s and such, they will tell you I've always spoken highly of Jordan Grace. She's just one of those individuals that unfortunately isn't on a stage where a lot of people can appreciate her work. Well, guess what? That changed pretty quickly. So Jordan Grace, man, can't wait to see her and one of my favorites in this industry, Roxy, do battle at Battleground. Anyway, that's the Rhea Ripley story. Unfortunately, it does not look like she will be able to return for SummerSlam. Want to, real quick, because this is pretty quick, the rating for AEW Dynamite came in, and it was approximately 790,000 viewers. So for the 7th or 8th week, one of the two, they have failed to clinch 800,000 viewers. That's obviously not good. It's post Double or Nothing last week, and then this week, the return of MJF on the microphone, but they just, it's rough. They went up a little bit, though. That's the good news. They did get to 790. The bad news for them is NXT is once again right on their ass. NXT, guys, pulled 768,000 viewers with Jordan Grace for the second week in a row being one of the highest rated segments. Last week, the highest rated. And I believe this week, This week, she may have been the highest as well. That might have been 2 straight consecutive weeks that she is the highest rated on NXT television. But you also had that Ethan Page contract signing. So NXT went from 703,000 to 768. They went up 65,000 viewers. And they are now approximately 22,000 viewers away from AEW and Dynamite. So that's huge, man. AEW is, Tony Khan talks about this war with WWE, but they got to concentrate on NXT first. You don't even look at the main roster, because if you look too far ahead, that third place car is going to pass you on the track. Don't matter if it's Martinsville or Daytona, it's going to pass you. If you take your eye off the ball too much and you start thinking that you're more than you are, that third place car, NXT is at 768, man. NXT has a good week next week, which would be post Battleground, so they could. And if AEW has a take it or leave it week, you could look at AEW getting 775 and NXT getting 798, 802. Roughly. AEW could surpass or NXT surpass AEW. They did that before for a few weeks, but that's when they brought over a bunch of main roster talent, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, you name it. Now they're doing it with a mid-carder in AEW that they pretty much casted away, didn't really see value in Ethan Page, but there's so much value in this guy. He's so good. Ethan Page, I told you guys when I talked about it in my last upload, Ethan Page is going to win many championships and be a massive part of not just NXT, but the main roster. Ethan Page, he might not be all elite, but he is still all ego, and Ethan Page is the real motherfucking deal. And they're doing it with Jordynne Grace, a women's champion, knockouts champion from TNA. They did it with those two, and they're almost defeating AEW. That's massive, man. So there's a lot of work to do. And by the way, it's not shading AEW. I've been saying for weeks they're doing so much right. AEW is doing a lot right. I love what they're doing with the Young Bucks and carrying on the show authority-wise as heels. They play it perfectly. A lot of the spots are funny. It's just trying to get that audience back to believe in you again. That 950 core audience, that dwindled to 750, and they're still trying to get that back. Anyway, that's the official ratings for you guys, man. AEW Dynamite 790 and NXT 768. The battle between those two brands is back on. Also want to talk Braun Breaker. There is reports now. We don't even need these reports, man, but many reports. And then some non-reputable reports tried to back up the reputable reports. I'll tell you right now, everything we are hearing is Braun Breaker, they really are giving this dude the rocket. They have no fucking choice, first of all. They kept him in NXT for an entire year, and they did nothing. He lost a bunch of matches in a row. They put him with Baron Corbin. Does anybody even know where Baron Corbin is? He was supposed to have gone back to the main roster. He may have had a match. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody right now is going, where's Baron Corbin if he's not on SmackDown tonight? But that's what they did with Braun. They made him a tag team, and they made him lose a bunch. There was no reason to keep Braun Breaker another year. But here he is. All right, a year has been wasted, and he didn't even do anything in NXT. That was it. He lost, and he was in a tag team with Baron Corbin. That was it. So he wasted a year in NXT. You better give him the whole rocket. This isn't a situation where you give him some of the rocket. 100 on the ups. I just saw that. That just flashed in front of me. 100 on the ups. I appreciate you guys live. 25 minutes notice on a Friday afternoon. You guys kick ass, man. But that's what they did. They wasted a whole year on him. So when he does get there, you're going to have to give him the whole rocket, not half the rocket. But the way that they're doing it, it's, it can be looked at as fun, right? He's running through individuals. This is where you want him to do that with jobbers, right? You don't need actual superstars to do something like this. If you're going to, okay, you throw him a Ricochet, right? Like meat to a dog, you throw him Ricochet. And Ricochet can use the ribs as a storyline. I get it. But why are you going to add Dragunov in this? You want to give Braun Breaker the rocket. That's cool. You want to propel him to the top of the company. That's cool. Hopefully it works, right? We're going to find out if the dude sinks or swims, because if he's got the talent we believe he does, then he's going to be just fine. If it doesn't work, the crowd is going to tell you, and guess what? No matter how much the machine tries to push him, they're going to have to bring him down many notches. But if you're trying to propel this dude, that's fine. But why are you dragging down Dragunov? If you want to lift somebody up, cool, but don't do it at the expense of tearing somebody else down like Dragunov. Dragunov is too good. Dragunov's the beast. He's the dude that should have his own separate rocket. He doesn't even need Levesque McMahon or creative writers to help him out. Give him semi-decent booking, and Dragunov will make believers out of everybody. That's what he did for BC. JR9 Gaming and a few others said, BC, you gotta watch NXT for this reason and this reason, man. Roxy's having this match. I said, okay. And Dragunov is one of the talking points coming out of it. That's what he does. He captivates you. He's not the biggest dude, but damn, does he captivate you. Shawn Michaels used to do. Shawn Michaels was never the biggest dude, but something about him in the ring, you were captivated, bro. I say it about Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks, right? Mercedes Fernando. I say she's everybody's best match, or at least one of their best matches. That's how you can tell she's one of the best, if not the best wrestler in the world for females. We know this because she's everybody's best match. I say that for the dudes, right? Shawn Michaels. You look at Shawn Michaels, and everybody says that was one of their best matches ever, right? Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25 is the best match I've ever witnessed in pro wrestling, ever. But Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Triple H, they all say the same thing. Man, that match with Shawn Michaels, it was the greatest. Well, there's one common denominator. Shawn Michaels. Right? That's how we can tell how somebody is like better than better, right? Dragunov is one of those dudes where he has these matches and you just are like, yep, I had to head out. I'm already late. I'm sitting my ass down and watching Dragunov. I'm watching this match. He's that dude. And this dude showed up. And it's not even joke, right? It's not nitpicking. It's not over-exaggerating. They had this dude show up and lose to Jey Uso in 10 minutes via a splash. But that's not Dragunov's character. JR9 in the chat, please tell me, if you don't watch NXT, if you don't know Dragunov, that's not Dragunov. He just doesn't lay on his back, take a splash from a tag team dude, even if they want to call a main event, and just lose like that. And then the next week, they had him about to lose to Ricochet, who literally had his ribs bandaged up. He was wrestling with half his body, and he hits a shooting star and was about to pin Dragunov. Thankfully, Braun Breaker jumped in the ring and it was a DQ. Dragunov still lost. He lost to a dude with half his fucking body via DQ, but they had him about to lose. It's not like Dragunov was about to hit his finisher, right? And then Braun came in. No! Dragunov was looking up at the lights and Ricochet was hitting his finisher, one of. And now they have him in this weird trios thing with Braun Breaker and Ricochet, and Dragunov is facing Braun Breaker this upcoming week on Monday Night Raw. The problem with that is, the report we're getting, and what we already know, is Braun Breaker's got the rocket of WWE. Then why is he facing Dragunov? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that unless it's just nonsensical, unless you just don't care. You have to care about everybody involved, superstar-wise. That's great you want to skyrocket Braun. You can't do it at Dragunov's expense. This dude can't lose a third straight match. Lost to Jey Uso pinfall, lost to Ricochet DQ, lost to Braun Breaker pinfall, because that's what it's looking like. Looking like the dude's going to get beat by a pinfall. Or Ricochet gets involved somehow, and Dragunov loses via another DQ. Ahmed, absolutely. They back themselves into a corner. Exactly, Ahmed. That's the problem. They do it all the time. There's no reason for this. This could be a fun little thing for Braun, right? Ricochet and somebody else. I could be down with that. Ricochet had nothing anyway. But Dragunov, just to propel Braun? Because you can't propel both. You're not going to do it. You're not propelling both. Braun Breaker is going to come out the legitimate star here, right? This is what all the reports are saying. This is what we're seeing, and this is the vibe in the company. So what they did is they took Dragunov, and I don't know if this was the the plan originally, or it just became that over the last 2 weeks because of Braun, and they were super impressed with Braun's performances. But now Dragunov has to look like the geek as Braun ascends. It's just a problem because I know a lot of you guys, even if you don't watch NXT faithfully, I can't watch NXT every Tuesday. I just can't. I have other obligations, much bigger business that I literally have to attend to. But I will tell you that when I heard Dragunov's going to the main roster, I that's it. Game changer. Literally, we use that word too often in pro wrestling, but that's a game changer. Because everyone that doesn't know Dragunov, just sit back, watch this dude. And you can't even grasp that, right? And then you have the people that say, well, give it time, right? Patience. And they'll make something big out of him. The point is, you're going to have to get all the people that are losing faith in him, that knew Dragunov, what he once was anyway in NXT. Now we're seeing this new version that's a total average AF type wrestler. He's absolutely a mid-carder at best. And then when it comes time for the company to want to catapult him, then we're supposed to be back on board that he's Superman again? Oh, now here he is. This is Superman. Doesn't work that way. Not even Braun Breaker. Listen to the reception the last 2 weeks. WWE is going above and beyond with Breaker. What he did to the Jobber a couple weeks ago with the steel steps, what he did to Ricochet backstage and then in the ring. They're going above and beyond. The suits and ties, the referees pulling him apart, right? That's going to generate a reaction. Before all of that, the reaction is kind of mid. But Braun Breaker has been a big thing in NXT for a few years, supposedly, right? But by cooling him off for that whole year, this last year, now you have to build that equity back up. There was no reason to do that. There's no reason you have to work this hard to get Braun over. Braun should have already been the moment he was on the main roster. If you did this correctly. That's the problem. You don't have to work extra hard if you just do what is logical, common sense. You don't put Dragunov in there with Braun Breaker this Monday. They're both brand new to the casual audience. They're still trying to learn what a Braun Breaker and a Dragunov is. Now one of them has to look like a geek. Hey, Zoom Station, you bring up a good point, because one of the biggest matches most of us wanted to see was Walter versus Dragunov, Gunther versus Dragunov, right? And so everybody was excited when Jey Uso beat Dragunov. Oh, don't worry, BC, I know he took a loss, but now we can get the Dragunov and Gunther. Nobody was thinking, well, why would you need to see that now? You want to see Dragunov go to war with Gunther when he can't even win a battle with Jey Uso? How about you win the battle, then you get to the war? Like, that's the point. If they want to do Dragunov versus Walter Gunther in the future, this is the type of booking that's supposed to get fans like JR9 Gaming or Ryzen9 Phoenix or James Shrimp Fajitas or Ahmed or CJ. This is supposed to get Jane Donnelly, Stegmeister, BC. This is supposed to get us excited. Yeah, we're finally getting Dragunov and Gunther now that Dragunov is a glorified jobber. He's just a little bit above Ricochet. Ahmed, I thought so. I thought Paul Levesque McMahon knew exactly how. I thought there was a conversation with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Fix his camera angle a little bit too. I thought there was a conversation with both. And that they had a plan for Dragunov when he shows up to the main roster. That's what we were told. Now we're finding out Triple H couldn't care less about Dragunov. Or at least that's what it looks like. You're not caring about it for sure, his booking. That's the most frustrating part. It's not, just the patience of it. He'll get booked properly in the future. It's the fact that now we, the fans, have to try to believe in him again, right? We don't want to see somebody like Dragunov lose all the time. You can't do it. And then you're going to try to promote Gunther versus Dragunov. How? Nobody would care. I mean, at this point, just hope that Dragunov can beat fucking Tozawa. One half of Pretty Deadly. I mean, we joke, but that's basically how they're booking Dragunov. This Dragunov in NXT, I think this guy could win every championship he goes for. This version of Dragunov, I don't know if he can beat any member of Pretty Deadly. So you're pushing Braun Breaker. That's another topic I would like to get to. You're pushing Braun Breaker. So, right, the latest report we're hearing is that they want this to culminate with him, obviously, a top face. So what? So by Mania next year, if this goes big and the company really backs this dude and he turns into this top face, is Braun winning the championship by Mania, for instance? Because what do you do with CM Punk? CM Punk is literally less than 2 months away. Big update on Punk. His rehab is actually going very well. Those were the exact words we're hearing. No more details on it, but very well. Within the next couple months, you got CM Punk back. So we all know Damian Priest has to get that title somehow to Drew McIntyre. Whoop! They're facing each other next Saturday. There's a chance. Title doesn't need to be on Damian Priest. That title is not going to do anything for Priest. Priest has to get himself over to that point, and then he can go for a championship. The dude's going to make the title's not going to make the man. That title has to be on Drew McIntyre. Drew has to hold that until CM Punk comes back, and then you put them two together with the title on the line. The problem now is, with Braun Breaker getting this rocket push, if it is successful, they're going to want that title on Braun Breaker. Does CM Punk even get the championship? Or do you just hold off then at that point? Do you just have Drew McIntyre run through everybody and then take on Braun come Mania? Chat, would you rather CM Punk or Braun Breaker get that title from somebody like Priest or McIntyre? Sound off in the chat if you don't mind. Just give me a name. Drew, would you like CM Punk or Braun Breaker? Braun or Punk? If you're booking, what face? Let's just assume that Braun Breaker is a face several months from now. Do you wait and give that title to Braun, or do you give that title to CM Punk because the story with Drew is just masterful? Zoom Station says Braun. Sam Byer says Braun. Isaiah says CM Punk. Alicia says Punk. Christopher Blackshear. Christopher, there's no gold card, man. Christopher was a channel member, gold card unit member. What happened, Christopher? I get it, man. Sometimes times are rough, man. Those bills need to be paid before anything. Christopher, you're always an honorary member of this unit, man. You know that. Gold status anyway. Christopher says Punk. CJ White, Punk. Jane Donnelly, Punk. Ahmed, Punk. JR9 Gaming would rather Punk. Braun says Big Nang. Braun says Gregory. Carbon says Punk. James says Punk makes more sense. Ryzen9 says Punk. Punk because Braun has the title a lot more Braun will have the title a lot more in the future, says Minshew. Braun's just starting off. That is true. CM Punk needs one last good run, and then the dude might fall apart for all we know. So that's a good take on it. Braun, Mr. Padre fan, Punk, unknown sold, superior tech. Bro, Punk will win the title and get injured again. LOL. So, we laugh, but I mean, that is eventually going to happen, but we're hoping that's like far off into the run, you know? Maybe it's during like a match he was supposed to lose the title anyway and he just finishes it. Christopher, I'm just messing, man. Yeah, I just noticed there wasn't a gold. I know you've been with the channel for a while, Christopher, and I know you were a gold card member, so it was weird not seeing a gold card after your name. But I totally understand, Christopher. More glitches for the tube, man. You're always an honorary gold card. I always envision a gold card after your name anyway, Christopher. Don't worry. Colin CM Punk. K-Yale. Fleming, CM Punk. Eddie Brash, Punk. Chris, Punk. A lot more Punks, yeah. Well, a lot Bronze too. This is kind of like 50-50, though. That was kind of 50-50. I would love to actually put that into some type of a poll. What can I ask? Would you guys prefer Punk over... you know what? I don't know how I'm going to word it, but let me try to put this into a poll, man. This is taking a little bit longer than I would have hoped, but... Hold on. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to start it, because that seemed 50-50 to me. So, let me see if I can start a poll here. Oh, they're going to let me? There you go. Should Braun Breaker win the title over Punk? So, simple question. Should Braun Breaker win the title over Punk? I'm not saying, guys, that Punk and Braun should be in a match together. I'm just asking, should Braun Breaker end up with the title over one of the heels, either a Damian or a Drew or whoever? This is thinking that Braun is a face several months from now. Let's just say WrestleMania-ish. Because Punk is supposed to win the title when he comes back. That's the plan. But should it go over to Braun Breaker if they are giving him this rocket? So that's going to be in your chat within the next 20 seconds. Should Braun end up with the title or CM Punk? If you think it should be Braun, just put yes. If you think it should be CM Punk still, just put no. Okay, that's not so 50-50 in the... See, that's... It looked 50-50 when I asked. This looks like it's 75-25 right now in favor of CM Punk. Okay, that just switched to 70-30, but still heavily for CM Punk. Interesting. 75. I'll let it rock out for another minute. Interesting. Well, I'm going to keep that up for a minute if you guys don't mind. I want to go over a super chat that came in. A couple super chats over the last 15 minutes that I was ranting probably about Dragunov. But but I got to give a shout out over to Pimp Jesus with a 5-spot coffee, or in this case, some clearly Canadian. Pimp Jesus, what up, BC in the unit? I'm going to watch this later. Pimp, kick ass at whatever you're doing now, man. I know this was on 25 minutes notice in the middle of the afternoon. So Pimp Jesus, take care of what you got to. This will be up on the channel later, man. Pimp Jesus. Ring the bell for Pimp Jesus. He is the winner of this match. Pimp Jesus. Colin with a 5-spot. Clearly Canadian. It's a couple of them. Colin says, Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio reminds me of Trish and Bubba Dudley in 2000 unit. Backlash 2000. Man, you're going back. I remember that. Trish had a lot of good storylines, man. There was her and Chris Jericho and Christian Cage. You guys remember that one? So, yeah, I actually thought of that one before the Bubba Ray Dudley thing, Colin. Colin, ring the bell for Colin. The winner of this match, Colin Stegmeister with another 10-spot. Ash Steggles. 10-spot super chat. Stegmeister says HBK should have sent Roxy to TNA to hype up the match on Sunday, but that's just a Stegmeister booking that would have been great for TNA. Thought about that. Stegmeister, first to that, if you don't mind, I will say I absolutely agree, but I want to follow that up. There is a chance that Roxy could actually lose this title Sunday night. There is a chance because there's an open challenge for TNA. Is it Against All Odds like a week or two later? Something like that. A few weeks later. It's called Against All Odds. And Jordan Grace will have an open challenge to a competitor unnamed right now. So that could be Roxy's way to come back, maybe get what was was hers, or Roxy just wins this and somebody from NXT still takes up Jordynne Grace's challenge, and that's where Jordan, not Jeff Gordon, Jordynne Grace would pick up a big victory over an NXT star. So Roxy saves face for NXT at Battleground. Against all odds, Jordan saves face against the WWE talent NXT. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, that's how it's... My point is, you're going to be seeing either Roxy or a female talent from NXT. You're going to be seeing them in TNA sooner rather than later, I assure you. JR9 says Paxley was teased on Tuesday with Grace, so it could be Paxley then. JR9, are you like 99% sure? Like do you think that's what the match is going to be? Or do you think it was just a tease? I know I'm putting you on the spot, JR9, but I did not catch that, so this is news to me. I'm going to shut down the poll because even though it started to go more in favor. Actually, you know what? I'm going to let it go because it went down to 64%. So it is getting more toward 50-50 like I originally saw. I'm going to leave the poll open for another couple of minutes, guys. Yeah, I got a feeling that's going to be the match. Oh, so JR9 with the bombshell that I did not know. Okay, so it looks like Pax. So there you go, though, Stegmeister. But you're right. Roxy should have went over there, sell that matchup. It would have helped Battleground in NXT, and it would have helped TNA Plus, which is obviously owned by Endeavor. The whole streaming service that TNA goes on is owned by Endeavor. So you're helping everybody out here. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that yet, but they're going to have to soon because TNA is going to have to get something in return. You can't just keep sending your top wrestlers over there, man. And WWE's like, thanks, slams the door on you. I'll leave the poll. Okay, and I'm going to shut the poll now. It looks like it's pretty stuck at 60, 65, 35-ish. So you guys do believe that Braun Breaker... it should be CM Punk, not Braun Breaker, eventually getting the title from McIntyre. I'm kind of along the same lines. I really am. Braun Breaker's got all the time in the world. There's no need to skyrocket this dude in the championships. Just worry about booking him correctly. That's all we need out of Braun Breaker. Also, was it Big Nang? Yes, it was. Big Nang with a 2 spot says struggle in adversity for Dragunov this year. That's what it's going to be, bro. Dragunov is going to lose 40 straight matches. And everyone's going to go, relax, everybody. He's going to eventually get the rocket. Right? They're going to be totally okay with this dude losing 40 matches in a row. Dragunov. And we laugh. But we just saw a top talent lose 40 matches in a row, right? Solo Sikoa lost 40 straight matches after he beat John Cena. 40 straight. And then you wonder why a lot of people are still finding it hard to believe that he's leading a faction right now. It doesn't feel right? It feels misplaced. It still feels like Solo is a mid-carder. Could it be because he loses all of his matches? That's why booking matters, guys. I'm not necessarily saying wins and losses, right? And heels are going to collect more L's than the average anyway. I get it. But it's how you book them, right? Solo Sikoa has looked so awful these last 6 months. And now all of a sudden he's the leader of a faction. It doesn't fit for a lot of fans, man. Big Nang struggling. Let me get Big Nang. Ring the bell for Big Nang, will ya? Big Nang! Wow, Fink just went hardcore. Fink just tapped into some Samantha, man. A little rock and roll in Fink's voice. Also, we're not even done. Hold on. Another one just came in from Dante Jaren 23. Gold team. My Gold Card channel member Dante Jaren chiming in TNA tapes weeks ahead of time. Dante Jaren 23. That is correct. This episode was not taped, though, correct? With the WWE NXT talent because they wanted to keep that under wraps. Am I right, Jaren9? I don't believe that episode was taped yet. I think that's still pretty under wraps as far, but it looks like JR9 is pretty confident that it's going to be Paxley. But I don't believe they tape that far in advance or for surprises. But let me see. If it's taped, we would already have the spoilers. Somebody can tell us exactly who. Yes, so nobody's sure. So, I don't think that episode was taped, though. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. To save cost, they have no choice but to tape block episodes of TNA. Dante Jaren 23, you're absolutely correct. And they save a boatload of money by doing that. A lot of people don't know, WWE used to do that back in the day. They would tape 2, even 3 shows at a time, Monday Night Raw. This is right before they started going live. They were getting their asses whooped anyway a lot of times. So they were close to going out of business. They had to tape a lot of shows. Ahmed in the chat, Ahmed, I don't know if you saw my last upload. I would check it out. It's only like 5 minutes long, but a lot of that was spent on Ethan Page and my thoughts on Page because I'll just say it's a raving review. Ethan Page is. I always liked this dude. There was something about him in ECW. AEW, my bad. AEW. There was something about this dude, but he just never caught that break like a lot of individuals. But man, he's just found himself. Like he is just on all cylinders. He's in a good placement right now. I do not expect him to get the title from Trick, but I wouldn't be disappointed if they shocked the wrestling world and Ethan Page walked out as champion. JR9 perfectly said that it factor. JR9 with a 5-spot coffee, or in this case, I gotta reiterate, clearly Canadians is what we're popping down. JR9! Ring the bell, damn it! Oh no, there's chaos after the bell, JR9. My bad, hold on. There's a melee, man, JR9. Stegmeister and Zoom Station, Ryzen, they all hit the ring. They're trying to jump JR9 Gaming. But Big Nang and James Shrimp Fajitas are coming to your aid, man. Ring the bell, damn it. Get rid of the chaos. JR9 won this match, damn it. Ring the bell. Where's the suits and ties? All right, JR9, we cleared the ring, man. JR9. The winner of this match as a result of a straight-up pinfall, JR9. I told you we are amplified, man. JR9 says, glad NXT has found its groove again. Battleground looks straight fire. Looking forward to the new evil Wendy Chu next week and Julia's arrival to dethrone Roxy. A few points on that. First of all, Battleground is looking good. That's why I want to do a review on it the next day. Hopefully, it'll be live. I want to do a live stream for channel members on Monday morning / afternoon. So any channel members around Monday morning, Monday afternoon-ish, stop by the channel if you're a channel member. I'm going to do a live stream for you guys. Battleground, I'll have all the latest news from the weekend in the wrestling world. But JR9, yeah, Battleground is looking good. On top of that, I've always been a fan of Wendy Chu. I cannot wait for her return. I want to see what they're going to do with her and how she's going to absolutely overshadow what she did beforehand, because this Wendy Chu looks a lot more badass. And 3, Julia's arrival is all pending on this injury. We're just hoping that the recovery time is going to be not too long, because you can only go so far with Julia. You got to introduce her, or otherwise you're doing the Ethan Page, Trick Williams things, which caught a lot of backlash. So Julia would have to come and start a few feuds first, right? Or are you saying just sending Julia right into Roxy? That's dangerous, because you're hoping that everybody knows what a Julia is. Again, Ethan Page, that whole story is taking some backlash because a lot of people are like, what? And Ethan Page is more known than Julia because of his AEW stint. So yeah, that's the match for people like us, JR9. But how do they do that? And with Julia being injured, it's hard to pre-book that. We're already doing that with CM Punk injured, but we're booking McIntyre and Punk. Definitely interesting, though. JR9! Salute, man. And quick, this was supposed to be a half an hour. It's an hour, but I want to run through the SmackDown card for you guys. Anybody that's going to be tuning in to SmackDown tonight, this is what you will be seeing. And if you're going to miss the show, but you're just going to check out BC's review tomorrow or over the weekend, I appreciate that very much. Thank you for trusting BC with all your wrestling review and breakdown and analysis. I will have a full throttle review for you guys on the SmackDown if you miss it, so don't worry. But tonight's SmackDown is going to see Cody Rhodes responding to AJ Styles' fake retirement. We're also going to have Solo Sikoa anointing Tonga Loa into the bloodline. Apollo Crews will take on Angel Garza, and John Gargano versus Grayson Waller. You're also going to see Jade Cargill versus Indy Hartwell. So, I mean, is it a show that's jumping off the page? No. I don't know how many people are right now clamoring to see Apollo Crews versus Angel Garza. I don't know how many people are just waiting in line to see John Gargano versus Grayson Waller, or even Indy Hartwell versus Jade Cargill. Now, that's a match I would like to see because I like Jade Cargill and I actually really like Indy Hartwell. So it's a match I want to see. I don't know how good it's going to be. Indy Hartwell has a tough time with certain individuals, I've noticed. The flow of the matches. When Indy is clicking, Indy is on. When Indy is off, it's off. Jade Cargill, still green, still learning the ropes. This could be a really bad match. I'm hoping it's not because I like them both. And in the review, I want to talk about how good the match was. But I don't know. We'll see, man. The two big segments here is going to be obviously the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa, I think going against orders from Roman Reigns and adding members in, and this time officially anointing Tonga Loa into the Bloodline. I think this is really going to piss off Roman down the line, storyline wise. So that's going to be the big thing tonight. And also Cody Rhodes looking to get back at AJ Styles. AJ made Cody look like a fool last week, man. You got to know that was a Mark Henry. He even had this little baby blue jacket on, almost mimicking the salmon colored jacket that Mark Henry wore many years ago with John Cena in that segment. You had to have known, Cody. Don't go to that ring. This dude is fooling you. Sure enough. Is that everything? Man, guys, I wanted to go over MJF's. We're already over an hour. I wanted to talk some of MJF, man. He talked with Sports Illustrated. Let me just give you a few paragraphs. This was MJF. He just returned to AEW, but he talked to Sports Illustrated right beforehand, and he says this. Remember I told you guys when he came back, he was mimicking Paul Levesque McMahon, Triple H. Remember when Triple H came back at Madison Square Garden after having the quad injury/surgery? And he came back more diesel than anybody I've ever seen come back to wrestling. This dude was jacked up. And he came back with a leather jacket with the jean jacket over it. And MJF did the same exact thing in a different type of way, but he did the same thing. So I said that is a direct copy of Triple H. Sure enough, and I quote from MJF, "The jean jacket was over what I feel is my leather jacket, but that jean jacket was certainly an homage to a return that meant something to me when I was a kid in Madison Square Garden. I am sure people can connect the dots." So he was there, like BC, Madison Square Garden, when Triple H came back. And I tell the story to this day, guys. Anybody in the chat now and anybody that'll listen to this over the next day or two. That was one of the loudest crowds I've ever heard in my existence. I have never heard a crowd that loud. Ever. There was something about that crowd. Triple H, he was gone for many, many months via injury. He came back. The dude was jacked out of the gore. I've never seen a wrestler come back that jacked. And he had this leather jacket, jean jacket combo. He just looked badass, bro. And there's a roof on Madison Square Garden, but this is a true story. 24 hours later, there was construction up there. People saw like something was being done to the roof. So a fun thing that we used to say from that night on is that we literally blew the roof off the place. was wild. So MJF was there, as was BC. You talk about goosebumps, man. There was nothing like that. Wow, that was huge. But I knew that jacket was for Triple H. And then MJF goes on to say this is just a fact. I've created some of the greatest moments in the history of the business, and I've only been on national television for an extraordinarily short period of time. I've said it before, I'll say it again, because it's true. I'm 28 and already have had a Hall of Fame career. There's nobody you can compare or contrast me to. There's never been anyone like me before. In 2019, I can safely say Adam Cole was the best of the best. Point blank, he was the guy, numero uno, with any and all promotions. I can also say by the end of 2023, Adam Cole was a part of the top quarter hour every weekly television until he broke his ankle in 2 places. That's it. You've got to give him his due. I refuse to say give the devil his due, but he's a cheap knockoff, carbon copy, and he's also a pussy. Please put that in writing. So those are his words to Adam Cole. He gives him some credit, and then he calls him a cheap knockoff, carbon copy pussy. I said in my interview when I grabbed the stick, it's not my fault everybody in comparison sucks a big old bag of donkey dicks. No one is on my level. No one has ever been on my level. Sometimes I feel like I'm jaywalking because I'm moving so much faster while everyone else adheres to the stop signs and the yield signs. There is no stopping me, and that's why I'm lapping everyone in the professional wrestling landscape. Woo! MJF going at it, brah! He was asked about WWE. Did he talk with WWE? Now, this is a little controversial because he says, of course there was talks with WWE. Am I going to get into the weeds? No, not at this point in time. This move made the most sense for me. I'm making a ton of fucking money. As far as when the contract ends, that's nobody's business but my own. So that's huge, guys, because the report states that he signed this contract when he was having the turmoil with Tony Khan, and it was actually just an extension of it for a shit ton more money, because that was a real thing. For those that don't know, that was real turmoil between him and Tony Khan. He saw the CM Punks and all these WWE guys coming in. They were making monumental money. The money that Punk was making at the time was the most in the company. And MJF was the highest rated segment, guys. He was always literally, I would break down quarterlies for you guys. And MJF was carrying the company. Even when Punk first got there, MJF was the talking point. But he wasn't getting a fraction of that money, not a fraction of it. So he was really pissed. He's like, wait, something's wrong here. And Tony Khan was like, well, you signed a contract. Nothing we can do. It's like baseball. You sign that rookie contract and you end up hitting 40 home runs. And you're only making like $300,000, right? And everyone else is a millionaire, but you're the one with the team on your back. There's nothing you can do until your next contract comes up, right? Or the NFL, Jordan Love, he was on a rookie contract. Now he gets to cash in on big boy money. But MJF didn't want to wait around for the next contract. He's like, dude, something's got to be done now. I'm your number one dude. And I'm seeing all these WWE guys come in, get treated better, get a hell of a lot more money, and I'm getting peanuts. So he walked. So we heard then that they restructured. Even if it was a month, 3, 6 months later, guys, the point is, he signed a while back. We're told that he did not sign during his hiatus. He was still with AEW during this whole hiatus. So if that's the case and he signed way before, then that's a lie, or he should not have been doing that, right? That's illegal. To say, of course, there was talks with the WWE. But I'm not going to go into the weeds of the details. There can't be. That's called contract tampering. So if the reports are accurate and this dude signed way before, WWE should have never been talking to him. He should have never been talking to WWE. So, that should not have been said. That is contract tampering. And if that gets back to Tony Khan, whoa, boy, you're going to really flip out, because he flipped out the last time there was contract tampering. So my guess is that there's just no real talks. He knows people there. He's in tight with Bruce Pritchard. He's real tight with Cody Rhodes. So he probably means he's talked to people there, but I don't think there was any actual like sit down contractual. I doubt that very much. So I think that's just part of his character and he's having some fun with it, right? Of course I talked to WWE about a deal, but this is the place I needed to choose. I don't think there was ever a talk with WWE like that because I don't think there could have been. He was already signed. That's why he doesn't want to talk about the extent of this deal. I think it was an extension, not a total re-signing. I think this dude is absolutely done probably by the end of the year and then something has to be reignited. Wild, man. He went on to talk a little bit about Rhodes and just like the Triple H incident where H was talking on like Pat McAfee's show and it was his name being chanted. He says, MJF says, Cody Rhodes is a mentor of mine. I love the fucking guy. He's the Rhodes coaster. But when Triple H is doing an interview on one of the biggest sports shows, Pat McAfee, whose name were they cheering in the background? It wasn't Triple H's. It was my name. I'm not just the biggest star in AEW. I'm one of the biggest stars in the history of the fucking business. The reasons these promos resonate with people is because everything that comes out of my mouth is fact. It wasn't feelings, it was facts. Can you remember the last time someone became a household name and arenas in WWE were cheering and were chanting their name when they had zero exposure elsewhere? We're talking the Crockett era, aren't we? I take pride in that. AEW is my territory, but I'm a name in every territory because I made professional wrestling my bitch. And you know what's crazy? I'm still evolving. Nobody really knows me 100% ever, and nobody ever will. To coin a line from one of the greats, if there's one thing for sure about MJF, nothing is for sure. I almost look at my wrestling matches as a discography of sorts. Somebody might say to you that the match between me and Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing 2020 is one of the greatest matches they've ever seen. Somebody might say the greatest match they ever saw was MJF versus Darby Allin, Full Gear, or MJF Adam Cole, Wembley Stadium. The list goes on and on. What's so interesting about me, not to toot my own horn, but toot, is because I'm so good at talking. People genuinely forget how great I am in the ring. Then they see me wrestle and say, holy shit, MJF is the best wrestler in the world. And I don't wrestle too often. That's why. When I wrestle, it's can't miss. As far as that Samoa Joe goes, full transparency, that match, my shoulder was so messed up I couldn't even do cardio. When I ran, my arms would swing slightly, and the pain that would cause was unbearable. But I got in the ring that night to do my job. Frankly, I find that interesting. A lot of people in my generation are pussies. Please, print that. They're too afraid to get in there. And when they have a boo-boo, they're too afraid to get in there. That's not how I operate. I take my job very seriously. If you put MJF on the top of the billing, I'm showing up. And one more thing about that Samoa Joe match. Joe's a tubby little bitch. And if we ever wrestle again, I'm going to bite his face off. I will give him credit. That night, he was the better man. He outsmarted me. He didn't out-wrestle me. He outsmarted me. And that's never happened in the history of my career. So kudos to him. He earned that world title. Based on the last-minute pay-per-view buys, when people heard MJF is coming back, that gave people no choice but to buy the pay-per-view, so it was the right choice. And if you really want to see me on Dynamite, the good news is I'm going to be talking this Wednesday night, and I have a lot to get off my chest. There was a lot of shit I watched on my TV while I was out for those months that really pissed me off, and I'll be talking about it on Dynamite. I didn't even scratch the surface on that pay-per-view. Frankly, everybody should be getting in line to kiss my ass. I'm back, so people have a reason to tune in. They've done a hell of a job carrying the load while I was gone, but everything's going to be fine now. I'm back, and I'm here to save the day. End quote, MJF. Woo! Hot damn! If you guys want to read that in full transcript, that is MJF in an interview with Sports Illustrated. So if you guys want to check that out on your own, MJF Sports Illustrated. This dude, you could say he was in character, which I love. You could say he's tooting his own horn and he's getting a little too big of an ego. Dude, it fits MJF. I mean, he was spitting. He called Samoa Joe a tubby little bitch. What do you call a tubby little something bitch? What the fuck? This dude did this. He did that. He gave no fucks in this interview, guys. It's definitely worth a read if you got a moment. He called him tubby, fucking tubby. Guys. Thank you, man. This was supposed to go a half an hour. I'm way late on several things, actually. Oh, boy. Well, I'm going to have to just get a lot of coffee and make up time. But thank you guys big time, man. This is a stream I definitely wanted to do for a few days now. I'm glad that it was with these topics, and I'm glad it was with you guys live in this chat, man. So big thank you to every single one of you guys that threw BC a coffee or Clearly Canadian, man. The super chats never needed. So that was really cool. You guys sounded that bell for sure. And for all of those gold cards, man, there was a lot of gold cards in this chat again. I really, truly love seeing that, man. That is my board of directors, man. And that helps me know, right? That sets just apart like just a special sector of our unit. So, man, all of my gold carders, I see you guys, man. In fact, a super chat gold card right now from Ron C23 to end it the right way. Ron C23 just won the main event. The winner of this match and champion of the world, Ron C23. There you go. I didn't forget the 23. Ron C23, glad to see you back, BC. Woo! Gotta give. Ron C23 is a big Charlie Flair fan. Ron C23, let me do this the right way, man. Good to see you up in here. Here's a swig to end it the right way with that Super Chat Championship. Ron C23. You were in that last bell for the night, bro. Ron C, and to everybody, salute. Thank you. We'll do this again real soon. The review for SmackDown this weekend. Monday, I hope to do a channel member, gold card channel member live stream, Battleground review, all the latest news coming out of the weekend. And then, of course, the next day will be the Raw review. So a lot of good content blazing through June. Salute, unit! Ah, man, this shit's good. Put them up, unit. Let's put them up. Put them up. Ready? I don't care if you went to the gym today or not. Put whatever you have been working on. Put them up. Ready? Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. We got triceps tonight, actually. We're going to hit those. Come on. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right, unit. BC's going to whoop some ass. Till next time. And there will be that next time. Top guys, we're out. BC saying check you. Peace. Yes. Ah.